Introduction to Nurigle.
Welcome to this session in which you will learn a global script, which has the potential of solving the illiteracy problem that is still widespread all over the world today. In the year 1446, Korean King Sejong invented a new phonetic alphabet to alleviate the illiteracy among his people. He named it Hunmin Cheongum, which means correct phonetic symbol for the instruction of the people. This phonetic symbol can be applied to virtually any language in the world. We call this alphabet Nurigle, which means global script. What makes Nurigle superior to all other writing systems is that it was designed by taking into account the significant physiological features of speech production and perception. The design principle of Nurigle is so simple and easy to learn that with only 5 basic consonant letters as building blocks, we can assemble and generate a whole new writing system. Contemporary linguists and speech scientists consider Nurigle as the most rational and scientific script among the writing systems in use today anywhere. Due to the potential of solving the illiteracy problem, Nurigle has attracted the attention of UNESCO, who recognized its significance and declared it the memory of the world in 1997. The scientific and cultural implications of Nurigle are beginning to receive international attention at last.
Graphic design of consonants. Graphic design of the 5 basic consonant graphemes based on the left lateral head position. The consonant shapes were designed by depicting either the shapes of articulatory organs, such as throat and lips, from frontal observation, or the configurations of articulatory gestures, such as the velar, the lingual, and the incisors, from left lateral head orientation. Speech sounds are produced in an order beginning in the throat at the rear of the vocal tract and proceeding through the soft palate, the tongue, and the dentals to the lips. The depiction of the 5 basic consonant graphemes. The basic shape of the throat sound, is a depiction of the outline of the laryngeal aperture from frontal observation. It looks like an opening of a pipe. The basic shape of the velar sound, is a depiction of the outline of the back part of the tongue touching the velar region. The basic shape of the lingual sound, is a depiction of the tongue tip touching the alveolar ridge. The basic shape of the dental sound, is a depiction of the jointed portion of the upper incisors and lower incisors. The basic shape of the labial sound, is a depiction of the outline of the closed mouth from frontal observation. The 9 regions of the vocal tract target areas for the movable articulators. The production of various sounds involves the movable articulators, such as the tongue, teeth, lips, and the soft palate touching parts of the vocal tract. There are 9 regions of the vocal tract. They correspond to the 9 places of articulation. The 9 places of articulation are, beginning from the front to the back of the vocal tract, as follows: labial, dental, alveolar, post-alveolar, palatal, velar, uvular, laryngeal, glottal. Now, let's review the 9 places of articulation in the reversed order, beginning with the throat up to the front lips. They are glottal, laryngeal, uvular, velar, palatal, post-alveolar, alveolar, dental, and labial. The 9 places of articulation and terms must be memorized by heart. Presentation of Cineradiographic Film Strip. The part of the film strip of the X-ray motion picture during the articulation of the 5 velar sounds are shown here. This is an X-ray motion picture showing the articulatory configurations of the vocal tract activities during the articulation of the 5 velar sounds.
N, G, K, K, G.
In this demonstration, each velar sound is produced within the phonetic construction as shown in the samples.
Ha-nga, ha-ga, ha-ka, ha-ga,
and
ha-ga.
The 35-year-old male subject was fed thick Valium liquid to enhance the outline of the soft tissue. From the film strip, you can see a corresponding relationship between the letter shape and the vocal tract configuration traced from X-ray frame. (2.5) Presentation of frame samples traced from the cinefilm strip. Frame A is a copy of the original X-ray frame of the vocal tract during the utterance of the nasal velar sound.
N.
In frame B, the soft palate region is blocked by the raising of the back of the tongue and lowered velar uvula to produce the nasal velar sound.
N.
A systematic comparison of the shapes of the actual letters and the articulatory configurations in the figures 2.5.1 through 2.5.4 show a complete correlation between the visualized configurations of the vocal tract activities and the consonant letters of Nurigle. For example, the tongue tip sticking out between the upper and lower incisors in order to produce English interdental sound
F.
is visible in the figure 2.5.4. Now, let's review each of the 5 basic consonant graphemes one by one. Basic throat grapheme
A.
The throat sound
A.
is a symbol of voiced sound. A voiced sound is one which involves vocal cord vibration in its production. The shape of the letter
A.
depicts the aperture of the open throat from frontal observation. This grapheme is also used for the symbol of vocalization, as in the silent H in honest. Basic velar grapheme.
K.
The grapheme
K.
is a slightly aspirated velar sound. This sound is between the English G and K. The letter shape of
K.
depicts the configuration associated with the back of the tongue touching the velar region, the soft palate. The grapheme
N.
is a nasal lingual sound, as in the N sound in noise. The letter shape of
N.
depicts the configuration associated with the back of the tongue touching the alveolar ridge. Basic dental incisor grapheme.
S.
The grapheme is a front teeth sound, as in the S sound in sky. The letter
S.
is a depiction of the outline of the jointed portion of the upper incisor and the lower incisor. Basic labial grapheme.
M.
The grapheme
M.
is a nasal labial sound, as in the M sound in mouth. It is produced with the mouth closed. The letter shape of
M.
is a depiction of the outline of the closed mouth from frontal observation. Review of the 5 basic consonant graphemes.
A. K. N. S. M.
Now let's review the 5 basic consonant graphemes in the order they were produced from the back throat to the lips. Read after the audio instruction.
Ah, ah. Ah, ka. Ah, na. Ah, sa. Ah, ma.
Explanation of the additive stroke system. Besides the 5 basic consonant graphemes, there are more letters that are either ingraft or degraft. The ingraft graphemes are the letters with extra strokes added above the basic graphemes in order to portray increased harshness. The degraft graphemes are the letters with extra strokes added below the basic graphemes in order to indicate decreased harshness. There are also some letters that have the same letter written side by side. These are called diplograms, which typically involve tense sounds. Overview of the additive stroke system in the 5 categories. Let's now go through each of the ingraft and degraft graphemes. Additive stroke system of the laryngeal graphemes. The basic throat grapheme has no phonetic value as silent H in our. It's a 0 cipher. When we added a horizontal stroke on top of the it is the ingraft throat sound, as in Hawaii. The ingraft throat grapheme, as in hot, is formed by adding an extra vertical stroke on top of the grapheme. The throat diplogram is formed by writing the side by side. This sound is like the German word nicht. Now, let's practice the 4 throat sounds.
Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Ah, ha. Ah, ha. Ah, ha. Ah, ha.
Additive stroke system of the velar graphemes. The velar nasal, as in sing, is formed by engraphing a vertical stroke on top of the throat grapheme. The protruding stroke is a symbol of the emission of sound energy through the nasal cavity. The basic velar grapheme is k. This slightly aspirated sound is between g and k. The heavily aspirated sound k, as in kid or cool, is formed by engraphing an extra grapheme on top of the basic grapheme k. The diplogram g, as in sky, is a tense velar sound. The voiced velar stop g, as in God, is formed by adding a symbol of voiced sound to the lower left corner of the grapheme k. Now let's practice the 5 velar sounds.
Anga. Anga. Aka. 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 Aga. 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 Aga.
Additive stroke system of the lingual graphemes. Lingual alveolar graphemes involve tongue and alveolar ridge. The basic lingual alveolar nasal grapheme is
N.
The ingraft grapheme
T.
is formed by adding the horizontal stroke on top of the basic grapheme. This sound is between the English d and t. The heavily aspirated alveolar stop,
T.
as in English tool, is formed by engrafting the extra stroke on top of the grapheme.
T.
The tense alveolar diplogram,
D.
as in still, is formed by the same grapheme written side by side. The voiced lingual alveolar stop, d, as in dad, is formed by adding a symbol of voiced sound to the lower left corner of the basic grapheme,
T.
The lingual alveolar grapheme,
R.
as in throw, is formed by the depiction of the tongue rolled up. The degraft lingual alveolar grapheme,
R.
as in run and girl, is generated by adding the symbol of voiced sound below the grapheme,
R.
The lingual diplogram,
L.
as in life, is formed by the same grapheme
R.
written side by side. Now let's practice the 8 lingual alveolar sounds.
Ana. Ana. Ata. 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 Ada. 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 Ara. 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 Allah. Allah.
Additive stroke system of the dental palatal graphemes. Dental palatal graphemes involve dental and palatal sounds. Next we have the basic incisor grapheme,
S.
as in sun. The ingraft grapheme
J.
is formed by engrafting the horizontal stroke on top of the basic grapheme.
S.
This horizontal stroke represents the palatal area. This sound is between
J.
and
Ch.
it is a typically pronounced affricate. The heavily aspirated palatal sound,
Ch.
as in church, is formed by engrafting an extra vertical stroke on top of the grapheme.
J.
The tense diplogram,
S.
as in seed, is formed by the same letter
S.
written side by side. The tense diplogram
J.
is formed by the same letter
J.
written side by side. This sound is as in ketchup. The voiced palatal stop,
J.
as in juice, is formed by adding a symbol of voiced sound to the lower left corner of the letter
J.
The degraft incisor grapheme,
Z.
as in visa, is formed by adding the horizontal stroke below the grapheme.
S.
The tense diplogram, as in pizza, is formed by the same letter
Z.
written side by side. The dental lingual fricatives,
Th.
as in think, and
The.
as in these, are produced with the tongue tip sticking out between the upper and lower incisors. The letter shapes are formed by adding the lingual subscript to
S.
and
Z.
the voiceless palatal fricative,
Sh.
as in sheet, is formed by adding the vowel
E,
to the grapheme.
S,
The voiced palatal fricative,
J,
as in vision, is formed by adding a symbol of voiced sound to the lower left corner of
Sh,
additive stroke system of the dental palatal graphemes. There are 10 more dental palatal fricatives generated in the mid-15th century for the accurate transcription of the Chinese language. Fricative refers to a sound produced by the friction of the breath issuing through a narrow opening of the speech organs as f, v, s, z. There is a category of retroflex fricative which involves the tongue tip curled back in the production of the sound. There are 5 dental palatal retroflex fricatives in the Chinese language. They are
Sh, J, Ch, J, Sh.
There are 5 dental palatal fricatives in the Chinese language. They are
S, J, Ch, J, S.
These sounds are produced with the tongue tip behind the lower incisors. Now, let's practice the 12 dental palatal graphemes.
A, 사, 아, 사, 아, 자, 아, 자, 아, 차, 아, 차, 아, 싸, 아, 싸, 아, 짜, 아, 짜, 아, 자, 아, 자, 아, 자, 아, 자, 아, 짜, 아, 짜, 아, 싸, 아, 싸, 아, 자, 아, 자, 아, 샤, 아, 샤, 아, 야, 아, 야.
Now, the 5 dental palatal retroflex fricatives.
아, 샤, 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 아, 샤.
And the 5 dental palatal fricatives.
아, 사, 아, 사, 아, 자, 아, 자, 아, 차, 아, 차, 아, 짜, 아, 짜, 아, 싸, 아, 싸.
Additive stroke system of labial graphemes. Last, we have the basic labial grapheme.
무,
The ingraft grapheme
부,
is formed by adding 2 vertical strokes above the basic grapheme.
무,
The protruding upright strokes stand for the admission of labial pressure from the lips. This sound is between the English
부,
and
푸.
the heavily aspirated labial sound,
푸,
as in peach, is formed by adding strokes symbolizing the emission of labial pressure from the 4 corners of the mouth. The tense labial diplogram,
B,
as in speech, is formed by writing
B,
side by side. The voiced labial stop,
B,
as in baby, is formed by adding a symbol of voiced sound to the lower left corner of the grapheme.
B,
The degraphed light labial grapheme
V,
is formed by adding the symbol of voiced sound below the labial grapheme.
B,
The sound, as in
Baba,
meaning father, in Mandarin Chinese. The degraphed labial grapheme
F,
is formed by adding the symbol of voiced sound below the harsh labial grapheme,
F,
which weakens the sound. The sound, as in the second character in
Gang Fu,
Mandarin Chinese. The fricative labial dentals,
F,
as in 5, and
V,
as in visa, are formed by adding the incisor subscript to the lower left corner of
P,
and,
P,
since the front teeth are sticking out between the lips for the production of labial dentals. Now, let's practice the 7 labial sounds.
A, Ma, A, Ma, A, Pa, A, Pa, A, Pa, A, Pa, A, Ba, A, Ba, A, Ba, A, Ba, A, Va, A, Va, A, Pa, A, Pa,
And the 2 labial dentals.
A, Fa, A, Fa, A, Va, A, Va.
To help us get organized about the numerous Nurigle scripts mentioned before, let's look at the chart. The numbered consonants
A, K, N, S, M.
in the chart are basic graphemes in each of the 5 homoorganic categories. The columns in the chart are discretely produced sounds in the vocal tract. They represent the class of consonants. The 5 categories of produced sounds are, from right to left, laryngeals, velars, lingual alveolars, dental palatals, and labials labiodentals. The rows in the chart are sounds differently perceived through ears. There are 7 categories of distinctively perceived sounds. Tense diplograms, heavily aspirated plosives, slightly aspirated plosives, continuance, degraphed voiced stops, degraphed letters. Plosives are stops produced through the vocal tract by the action of the respiratory system. Continuants are sounds that are sustained. Degraphed voice stops are voiced sounds that are not continuous.
E, H, H, N, K, G, G, T, T, D, D, L, R, R, Ch, Ch, J, S, J, Z, Z, S, Z, J, Sh, P, P, B, B, F, V, F, V.
10 Chinese dental palatal fricatives. Vertical review. Now, let's read the chart vertically from right to left. First, the ingraft letters, and then degraft letters in the phonetic construction.
A, E, h, h, ng, g, k, g, g, n, t, 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 l, d, r, r, s, ch, ch, s, j, z, j, z, th, th, sh, j, m, p, 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 b, v, f, f, v.
Horizontal review. Now, let's read the chart horizontally, from right to left. First, the ingraft letters.
K, T, J, P, H, K, T, Ch, P, H, G, D, S, J, Z, B, L.
And then, degraft letters.
G, D, J, B, R, Z, F, V, R, Th, Th, F, V, Sh, J.
Those 5 dental palatals retroflex are
sh, j, ch, j, sh,
and dental palatal fricatives are
s, j, ch, j, s.
These letters are designed for the transcription of the Chinese language in the mid-15th century. The 7 letters
R, T, B, V,
and
L
are not actually used in the Korean language today. But they were envisioned by Sejong as part of the 15th century Korean language and also for the sake of transcribing the Chinese characters and words. The letter
L.
is an exceptional diplogram, for it is not a 10th sound. Graphic design of vowels. The 3 cardinal vowels is a depiction of heaven or the sun. It is a bright vowel. The sound is as in but, cut, love, or done. Is a depiction of earth. It represents the earth's flat land and horizon. It is a dark vowel. The sound is formed by slight vertical opening and wide horizontal opening of the mouth. When you pronounce E, lips are spread, with the mouth shape of E. Pronouncing U will make sound. E is a depiction of man standing between heaven and earth. It is a neutral vowel. The sound is as in big, sing, king, or tea. Preview of the 11 vowels. The 11 vowels
A, U, I, A, O, U,
and
Ya, Yo, Ya, Yu
are designed based on the yin-yang cosmology of Neo-Confucianism. Yin means dark, and yang means bright in Chinese. This concept involves three great powers, heaven, earth, and man, in various combinations. Of the 11 vowels, the three cardinal vowels, and are designed by depicting heaven, earth, and man. The remaining 8 vowels, and are the derivatives. The 4 derived vowels by secondary conjugation. The 4 derived vowels are generated by the conjugation of heaven and earth, heaven and man, as depicted in the diagram. The first is a bright vowel. It depicts the sun rising in the east. The sound is as in mama. The second is a bright vowel. This depicts the sun shining above the ground. The sound is as in Ohio. The third is a dark vowel. It is a depiction of the sun setting in the west. The sound is as in around or earth. And the fourth is a dark vowel. It depicts the sun has sunk below the ground. The sound is as in moon, rude, or soon. The 4 yodized vowels by tertiary conjugation. Yodized vowels are pronounced with the vowel E first. The 4 yodized vowels are generated by the conjugation of heaven and earth, heaven and man, as depicted here. The fifth is Ya, a bright vowel. It depicts the sun rising in the east again. The sound is as in Yaki, Ya, Yacht. The sixth is Yo, a bright vowel. This depicts the sun shining above the ground again. The sound is as in York, show. The seventh is Ya, a dark vowel. It depicts the sun setting again. The sound is as in yearn or shirt. The eighth is U, a dark vowel. It depicts the sun below the ground again. The sound is as in youth, news, or shoes. Overview. Correlation between words' meaning and 11 vowels. Explanation of the 11 vowels and their associated yin-yang features. This diagram shows the relationship between the vowel sound and the meaning of the words. Shown here are 4 groups of words. Groups 1 and 2 are on the bright side, representing the position of the sun east and above the ground. Groups 3 and 4 are on the dark side, representing the position of the sun west and below the ground. Note the contrast in the meaning between number 1 of group 1,
밝다,
bright, and number 1 of group 3,
어둡다,
dark. Between number 2 of group 1,
노랗다,
yellow, and number 2 of group 3,
누렇다,
somewhat yellow. Between number 8 of group 1,
살다,
lives, and number 1 of group 4,
죽다,
dies. Between number 6 of group 2,
호,
warm air comes out, and number 6 of group 4,
후,
cold air comes out. According to the phonetic classification, and
오,
are strong vowels, and
우,
are weak vowels. Thus, it can be said that bright vowels are strong and warm vowels, whereas dark vowels are weak and cold vowels. Other complex vowels combined with neutral vowel.
이,
Now we will take a look at other complex vowels that are combined with the neutral vowel.
이,
The demonstrations of labial shapes for the production of the complex vowels are shown along with the pronunciation of the complex vowels.
이,
Plus
아,
makes,
야,
as in,
yacht. 이,
plus
오,
makes,
요,
as in,
York. 이,
plus makes,
여,
as in,
yarn. 이,
plus
우,
makes,
유,
as in,
news. 아,
plus
이,
makes,
에,
as in,
pen.
plus
이,
makes,
에,
as in,
pen. 오,
plus
이,
makes,
의,
as in,
great. 우,
plus
이,
makes,
위,
as in,
river. 으,
plus
이,
makes,
의,
as in,
드. 야,
plus
이,
makes,
예,
as in,
yet. 여,
plus
이,
makes,
예,
as in,
yes. 오,
plus
아,
makes,
와,
as in,
what. 와,
plus
이,
makes,
왜,
as in,
wagon. 우,
plus makes,
워,
as in,
work. 워,
plus
이,
makes,
왜,
as in,
wet.
Chungum Nurigle diagram. Let us take a look at this diagram of Chungum Nurigle alphabet. This illustration is a diagram to help us visualize the design principle of the Korean alphabet of 1446 at a glance. It is an emblematized blueprint of Sejong's primary Nurigle script, which consists of 11 vowels and 17 consonants. Of the 11 vowels, the cardinal 3 vowels
으,
and
이,
are in the center. The 4 derived vowels
아, 오, 우,
and the 4 yodized vowels
야, 요, 여, 유,
are situated in the way they were generated according to the secondary and tertiary conjugation. The 17 consonant graphemes
아, 으, 흐, 느, 그, k, n, t, t, r, s, j, ch, z, m, p, p,
are all contained in this diagram. King Sejong did not include the diplograms
k, g, d, s, j,
and
b,
in the primary 17 Nurigle consonants because they are not phonemes but allophones. For example, peak is a phoneme, but speak is an allophone. Allophone is a subphonemic feature, as in the case of
k,
nicht in German,
g,
sky,
d,
steak,
s,
conceal,
b,
speak,
j,
itchy, or ketchup in English.